Welcome back to Chat Like a Native. We're going to be talking about something pretty interesting today.
Oh, yeah.
Um, and that is filler words.
Okay.
You know, all those and likes,
Right,
that
right.
kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we all use those sometimes.
We all do.
Maybe a little too much.
And we're going to be talking about why we use them
Okay.
and what we can do to kind of break those habits and speak a little bit more clearly.
Yeah, because I think it's interesting, these little words, they're so tiny, but they really can have a big impact on how people see us.
Yeah.
And, how well we get our point across.
For sure. And, it's something that happens in pretty much every language.
It's true.
It's not just an English thing.
You hear it everywhere.
It's everywhere. And so, what is it about these sounds that we all just kind of,
Yeah.
we all kind of do it?
It's so fascinating.
It is.
I've always wondered, why do we use these things?
Yeah.
Why do we say, when really we want to say something else?
Yeah. Are we like robots trying to sound human or something?
I mean, not exactly robots, but, there is a cognitive reason for this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when we're speaking, our brains are working so fast,
Right.
trying to process our thoughts and find the right words.
Yeah. To make sentences.
And those filler words, they actually give us a little moment.
Okay.
Just a tiny moment to catch up.
To think.
Yeah, it's like a little pause button.
That makes sense.
So we can, gather our thoughts.
Right.
Without that awkward silence.
So it's not necessarily a bad thing then.
Right.
I mean, sometimes a pause can even help the flow of a conversation.
Exactly.
I'd much rather hear someone say,
Sure.
than just stop talking completely.
Yeah, it can sound really unnatural if you just suddenly stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in small doses, in casual conversation,
Right.
they can actually make you sound more approachable,
I can see that.
more natural.
More human.
Yeah, they signal hey, I'm thinking I'm engaged.
Right. But the problem is when they kind of take over.
Yeah.
When they become like the main event.
Too much of a good thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like you're listening to someone.
Right.
And all you hear is,
Yeah, and you can't even follow what they're saying.
Yeah, it's so distracting.
It's like a broken radio.
It really is.
You're trying to hear the message,
Yeah.
but there's just too much static.
Yeah, you can't even focus on what they're trying to say.
Right. And in those situations, they can really work against us.
Sure.
Make us sound less confident, less articulate.
Like we don't really know what we're talking about.
Exactly.
Like
Even
that.
if you have great ideas.
Right.
If you're in a job interview
Oh, yeah.
and you're trying to explain your experience.
Right.
But all the interviewer hears is, I worked on this project.
It's not going to go well.
It's not going to make a good impression.
Right.
Even if you have the best qualifications.
Yeah, I think it makes it hard to take someone seriously. If they're just saying and like all the time.
It's like those filler words become the focus instead of the content.
Exactly.
And that's a problem.
So what can we do about it?
Wow.
We know why we use them.
Right.
We know they can be a problem.
Yeah.
How do we break these habits
Yeah.
and speak more clearly and confidently?
Well, that is the million-dollar question.
It is.
And luckily, there are some really effective strategies we can use to be more mindful
Okay.
about our speech patterns
Interesting.
and actually replace those filler words.
With the actual words.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm all ears.
The first step to getting rid of these filler words, it might surprise you.
Oh, really?
It's all about awareness.
Okay.
You have to become a detective of your own speech patterns.
So, really pay attention to how we speak.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of us, we just go through life talking without really thinking about it.
Yeah, like autopilot.
Yeah, and just like any good detective,
Okay.
we need tools.
I like it.
And one really powerful tool is recording yourself. Yeah, and it doesn't have to be anything fancy, even a voice memo on your phone.
Oh, okay.
Try recording a conversation or practicing a presentation.
See, I always feel kind of weird listening to my own voice.
I know it can be a little cringy,
It is.
but it's so effective.
Okay, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, because you'll start to notice those filler words popping up
Okay.
in specific situations.
Like,
Maybe you use more ums when you're explaining something complex or
Right.
when you're feeling a bit nervous.
I think I do that.
Yeah.
When I'm trying to remember a word, I'll be like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of it.
That's a really common one.
Okay.
And once you're aware of those patterns,
Yeah.
you can start developing strategies to break them.
Okay. So, like what?
Well, one of the most powerful strategies, and this might sound counterintuitive,
Okay.
is the power of the pause.
Wait, so instead of saying, I should just be quiet.
Well, yeah, in a way.
Wouldn't that be even weirder?
You know, it might seem that way at first, but trust me, a well-placed pause
Okay.
can be a secret weapon for confident communication.
Okay.
Think of it like punctuation in writing.
Right.
Commas create slight pauses, periods, longer ones.
Right.
And these pauses, they help create rhythm, emphasis, and clarity.
Yeah.
And the same principle applies to spoken language.
So instead of like blurting out an while I'm thinking,
Yeah,
I could just take a breath and be silent for a second.
exactly.
Okay.
Those few seconds of silence, they give your brain a chance to catch up.
Right.
And it also gives your listener time to process what you've just said.
That makes sense.
And it can actually create a sense of anticipation.
Oh, really?
Yeah, making people lean in to hear what you're going to say next.
Like building suspense?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I like that.
But what about those times when you need to think on your feet?
Right, because if I'm pausing every few seconds,
Yeah,
it might make me seem unsure,
right. And that's where another strategy comes in.
which is,
Slowing down your overall pace. Because when we speak too quickly, our brains have less time to process.
right. And that's when I start saying, a lot.
Exactly.
Like when I'm nervous or excited, I just talk a mile a minute.
Yeah, and the filler words just sneak in to fill the gaps.
So how do I slow down?
One way is to practice reading aloud at a steady pace.
Okay.
Choose a passage from a book or an article
Right.
and focus on enunciating clearly and pausing naturally at the end of sentences.
Oh, that's a good idea because I can do that on my own.
Exactly.
And it helps my pronunciation too.
It does now for those who really want to challenge themselves
Okay.
and develop a more deliberate speaking rhythm.
All right.
There's a slightly unusual but very effective technique,
What's that?
using a metronome.
A metronome, like the thing musicians use
Yes, exactly.
to keep time.
Yeah.
Okay.
It might sound strange,
A little bit.
but set it to a comfortable beat and speak along with it.
Okay.
It can help you slow down and become more aware of those natural pauses.
So like it's setting the pace for me.
Exactly. You might want to start slow, like 60 beats per minute,
Okay.
and then gradually increase the speed as you get more comfortable.
I've never tried that before.
Give it a shot.
I will.
It's like having a built-in pacing coach.
So we've talked about awareness, pausing, and slowing down.
Right.
Are there any other strategies to get rid of these filler words?
Well, one of the most important is what I like to call structured thinking.
What's that?
It's all about organizing your thoughts before you speak
Okay.
so that you're less likely to feel flustered and resort to filler words.
So it's like planning a trip. If you have a map and an itinerary,
Exactly.
you're less likely to get lost.
Yeah, and in this case, getting lost is using all those ums and uhs.
Makes sense.
Yeah, the source material suggested using bullet points to outline key points
Okay.
before conversations or presentations.
So I have a structure to follow.
Right, it gives you that mental framework so
Okay.
you're not just grasping for words in the moment.
It's like having a safety net. So I know where I'm going and can speak with more confidence.
And if you practice outlining regularly, it can actually help you become a faster and clearer thinker.
Oh, wow. That's a bonus.
It is.
So we've got structured thinking.
Yes, and we can't forget about the emotional side of things.
Oh, right, because anxiety can make me use a lot of filler words.
Absolutely. Anxiety plays a big role.
Like when I get nervous, it's like my brain just goes haywire.
Yeah, and the ums and uns just take
Yeah.
over.
So how do we manage that anxiety and stay calm?
Well, there are some fantastic techniques that can help calm those pre-speech jitters.
Like what?
One of the simplest and most effective is deep breathing.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Taking deep breaths before a presentation.
Right, it really helps to settle those butterflies in your stomach.
But how does it actually work?
When we're anxious, our breathing tends to become shallow and rapid,
Okay.
and that sends a signal to our brain that we're in danger,
Oh,
which
wow.
only increases the anxiety.
So it's like a vicious cycle.
Exactly, but by consciously taking slow, deep breaths, we can actually reverse that process.
So I can trick my brain into thinking everything's okay.
Yeah, it's like hitting the reset button on your nervous system.
I like that.
And over time, practicing mindfulness and relaxation techniques like meditation
Right.
can help you develop a sense of inner calm and focus,
Okay.
making you less prone to those impulsive filler words.
So it's not just about fixing my speech.
No.
It's about having a calmer mindset overall.
Exactly. And finally, one of the most powerful things you can do is shift your focus
Okay.
from the sound of your voice to the meaning you want to convey.
So don't worry about sounding perfect.
Right. It's easy to get caught up in that.
Yeah,
But ultimately, communication is about connecting with others and sharing our ideas.
that's so true.
When you focus on the meaning, your words will flow more naturally.
Yeah.
You'll be less concerned with filler words and more engaged with expressing yourself.
So it's about being genuine and authentic.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that.
So we've learned some fantastic strategies to be more mindful of our speech
We have?
and reduce those pesky filler words.
But how do we actually put all this into practice?
Ah, that's a great question. And I'm excited to share some practical and fun exercises.
Okay, let's hear it. So what are these exercises?
Well, one classic technique is that mirror, mirror on the wall approach.
Oh, yeah, talking to yourself in the mirror.
Exactly.
I remember doing that in high school,
Yeah.
like before speeches and
Yeah,
stuff.
it's like having your own personal audience
Yeah.
and a very honest one.
It was always a little awkward.
It can be, but it's effective.
Okay, so what do I do?
Just choose a topic you're familiar with
Okay,
and speak about it for a few minutes in front of the mirror.
okay.
And really pay attention to when you use those filler words.
And try to replace them with pauses.
Exactly.
Okay, I can do that.
Another good one is the time speaking challenge.
Oh, okay, what's that?
Set a timer for 1 minute
Okay.
and try to speak on a topic without stopping.
Without stopping at all.
Yeah, the key is to replace those filler words with pauses.
So just be silent.
Yeah, for a moment.
Mm.
As you get more comfortable, you can increase the time limit.
Oh, this sounds kind of fun.
It is, and it's a great way to build fluency and confidence.
Okay, I'll try that one too.
Now, if you really want to get specific about identifying those filler words,
Yeah.
try recording yourself reading aloud.
Okay.
Choose a passage from a book article or even a news story.
Yeah.
Just read it naturally.
Okay.
Then listen back to the recording
Right.
and make a note of where you tend to use filler words.
I do that sometimes when I'm working on my pronunciation.
Yeah, it's a great technique.
It's amazing how much you can learn just from listening to yourself.
Exactly. And once you've identified those filler word hotspots,
Right.
you can practice reading the passage again.
Okay.
This time focusing on eliminating those unnecessary words.
And replace them with pauses.
Yeah, you can even experiment with different types of pauses.
Oh, like long pauses, short pauses?
Oh, like long pauses, short pauses. Yeah, see how they change the flow and impact of your speech.
So it's not just about being silent.
No.
It's about adding expression.
Exactly like punctuation in writing.
Okay, that makes sense.
And here's another idea.
What's that?
Practice with a partner.
Oh, okay.
Choose a topic you're both interested in.
Right.
And have a conversation where you're both consciously trying to reduce filler words.
So we can help each other out.
Yeah, you can gently point them out to each other.
I like that it's like having a built-in accountability partner.
Exactly. And speaking of support,
Yeah.
remember that becoming a more confident and articulate speaker,
Right.
it's a journey.
It's not going to happen overnight.
No, it's about progress, not perfection.
Okay.
Don't get discouraged if you slip up.
I won't.
Everyone does the important things to keep practicing
Yeah.
and celebrate those small wins.
That's a good point because it's easy to get caught up in wanting to sound perfect.
It is. And the truth is, even the most eloquent speakers, they've probably used their fair share of ums and austers over the years.
Yeah, that makes me feel better.
And if you're looking for additional support,
Why?
consider joining a speaking club like Toastmasters.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
It's a fantastic way to get regular practice
Right.
in a supportive and encouraging environment.
And you can meet other people who are working on the same thing.
Exactly. It can be really motivating.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
So to wrap up our deep dive into the world of precise speaking,
Okay.
remember this becoming a more confident and articulate speaker is achievable.
It is.
For anyone who's willing to put in the time and effort
Awesome.
with awareness practice and a little bit of patience,
Yeah.
you can break free from those pesky filler words
I like it.
and unlock the power of your voice.
That's a great way to put it. So to all our listeners out there,
Yeah.
we encourage you to try out some of these exercises.
Yeah,
You might be surprised how quickly you see a difference.
it's true. And
Yeah.
remember, every little step counts
It does.
on the road to becoming a more confident and fluent communicator.
Thanks for joining us on Chat Like a Native.